The president basically celebrating the Justice Department's extraordinary decision to pull back its recommended prison sentence initially for Stone. Prosecutors at first said they were looking at 7 to 9 years behind bars. But hours after President Trump called that recommendation unfair, the AG and his top aides stepped in to reverse it, calling for something more lenient. Now, all 4 prosecutors on the case have withdrawn from it. One of them quit the Justice Department altogether. And our new reporting this morning shows this isn't the first time the Attorney General has taken control of legal matters of personal interest to the president. Senior officials at the department also intervened last month to help change the sentencing recommendation for President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. Because of all this, right, you've got Democrats up in arms, as you are seeing now, with Senator Schumer on the Senate floor, some of them calling for new hearings, new investigations, and now one call just moments ago for the Attorney General to resign. That call comes from Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal from the Judiciary Committee. He also wants the committee chair, Lindsey Graham, to immediately open an investigation into the Justice Department's decision. Senator Blumenthal, thank you for being back on the show.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
You told our team just moments ago you think Attorney General Bill Barr should step down. Why?
This brazen assault on the independence and integrity of the Department of Justice is unprecedented. You know, I served as United States Attorney, the chief federal prosecutor for Connecticut for 4.5 years. I still have on my wall the signed seal from the Department of Justice as a reminder of the importance of the independence and integrity of that department, our law enforcement agencies, our judicial branch of government. And I think that Attorney General Barr has no choice but to follow these dedicated prosecutors out the door, because he's acting simply as a henchman, a political operative of the president, who's always wanted the Attorney General of the United States to be his Roy Cohn, his personal attorney. And by the way, I think the judge here is going to be very, very angry about this political interference and compromise of the integrity of the Department of Justice. I think it could well backfire on Roger Stone.
The chances, as senators, you well know that Attorney General Bill Barr steps down because you're calling on him to step down are pretty slim, right? But you do have potential oversight of what his actions he's doing. You want Lindsey Graham, as we noted, to open an investigation. Have you heard back from Senator Graham or from any of the Republicans on the Judiciary Committee about that request?
I have not yet heard back. I just came from a hearing of the Judiciary Committee. Chairman Graham was not there. I'm going to be speaking to him during the votes today. But we also have the option of the Office of Inspector General, who is an independent watchdog. And I am calling on the Office of Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, to conduct an immediate, intensive investigation, because this kind of political interference is exactly the abuse of power, the dictatorial interference that we all ought to resist on both sides of the aisle, because today it is this case, but tomorrow it could be another. There ought to be bipartisan interest in investigating, and Attorney General Barr has to come before our committee as part of the normal oversight. And I'm asking Lindsey Graham simply to accelerate that oversight so we can hold William Barr accountable.
To be clear, even some legal observers who sort of don't have a dog in this fight will say, listen, 7 to 9 years seemed on the harsher end of the sentencing guidelines for Roger Stone. Do they not have a point? Do you see that perspective and where they're coming from?
I see the point. I see the potential mitigating circumstances. Those kinds of factors are for the judge to consider. The prosecution makes a recommendation on the basis of facts that it has proven in court. Remember, Roger Stone went to trial. He resisted, he refused any kind of plea deal. He said to the jury he was innocent, and they found him guilty. This kind of interference is an insult, not only to the judge, but to the jurors who reached that verdict. And so the mitigating circumstances can always be considered by the judge, his age, the nature of the offense, whether it's too harsh to sentence him to 7 to 9 years. But frankly, I think that kind of sentence is well within the guidelines and judicial oversight.
Very quickly before I let you go, as far as options go, you have said that post-impeachment Democrats are what you describe as re-strategizing and need to reconsider what you can do through the power of the purse. Are you suggesting that moving forward, Democrats withhold appropriations?
We're in an entirely new, uncharted area with this kind of dictatorial action, resisting any kind of oversight and stonewalling Congress in the way this president has done. So we need to strategize all the kinds of tools we have.
So that's on the table,
to hold
then.
The president accountable.
Withholding appropriations, then, based on that answer, seems to be on the table in your view.
Withholding appropriations may include, in effect, leveraging that kind of power as a tool simply to insist on the rule of law, basic norms that ought to be given as a fundamental base for any president.
Senator Richard Blumenthal joining us live from Capitol Hill this morning. Senator, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.